Guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today we're going to talk about the premiere date of the first two episodes of Doctor Who and the row that is creating. Now, of course, by now most people know that the British people are getting this dropping live over in the UK at a very odd time for Doctor Who, in a move that seems much more convenient for American viewers and other people as well, but especially for American viewers. And keeping in mind, I myself am an American, so I'm approaching this as an American, and I still feel like the British people are getting the raw end of the deal here. Now, I'm not angry about it. I'm not one of those people raging about it. I don't like it, and I'll get to why I don't like it. First off, it's a British show. You pay the license fee. It's inherently a British show. You can watch Doctor Who and tell it's a British show as part of y'all's culture at this point. So I definitely feel like the British audience should always be the primary audience. You should be the target audience. Whereas Doctor Who is also a family show. It's supposed to be a family show. It was originally a children's show. It's a children's show / family show. And the idea of it releasing at midnight is silly to me, because how many children are going to be up at midnight? Who's going to let their 6-year-old stay up to midnight to watch this? Even on like a Friday night going into Saturday morning, that's just absurd for a family show, if it truly is a family event. I don't think you would leave your child up there. That and the fact they're showing 2 episodes, not just 1, but 2. So you're going to be up till, what, 2 o'clock in the morning if you watch both of them? So they're doing a premiere at midnight and showing 2 episodes? I don't know. That just seems like bad planning. Just so the Americans can get it at 7 o'clock in the evening. I personally feel like they should have released this on Saturday at the same time it's going to air originally, which I think is like 6 or 7 there, right before Eurovision, whatever that is. I have no idea. But apparently it's a big deal. Don't tell me down in the comments. I don't care. But I know it's a big deal. But they should have just released the 2 episodes before that. And then here in the States, we could have gotten it, around noon, around 1 o'clock, depending on whatever part of the States you live in. I don't mind watching Doctor Who at like noon or 1 or 11 o'clock in the morning. I don't care, or 1 in the afternoon. It's fine. It's not a big deal for me. I'm used to being a few hours behind the BBC. Fine. I don't mind. The other thing that concerns me is spoilers. The British people are going to have to avoid the spoilers. Now, I personally don't have a problem avoiding social media. I don't really use social media. I don't have a Facebook. I don't have an Instagram. I do technically have a Twitter. I never really use it, to be honest. I follow Lee Binding, Chris Chapman, Josh Snares, and a handful of other people. I don't really ever use it. That's why I never really promote it. I don't eat, breathe, sleep online, and quite frankly, I don't think anyone should. But I know for some people, their livelihood is connected to social media. So having to avoid spoilers, I feel like British people shouldn't have to. Again, it's your show. You shouldn't have to go all day having to avoid that. And some people will argue, well, they don't have to watch it at midnight. Again, you shouldn't have to avoid spoilers. But 2, I feel like Doctor Who, for a lot of people, when an episode premieres, is an event. They get together with their friends, or they get together online and celebrate when an episode drops. Having it air on the iPlayer before it premieres on the show, I don't really like that. I'd prefer it did both at the same time, instead of them getting it at midnight and then getting it on TV at 6 or 7 o'clock or whenever it's going to air over there. I just don't really like that. You can see right here, it's got the times up for all the different places right here. I don't really care for that. Also, I don't like the fact they're doing 2 episodes. It's a short season anyway, at just 8 episodes. And I feel like that's going to curtail the excitement people get. When a new season is actively going, that's the time everybody tends to be most excited about Doctor Who. When you're fired up, the new season's going. Let's talk about it. What is the seasonal arc? What happened in this episode? How is that going to affect things going on in the next episode? How's that going to tie in with the season finale? and you've already got a shorter season. I mean, we used to get 12, 13 episode seasons. We have an 8 episode season, and you're already giving us 2 episodes back to back. I don't really like that. I feel like this season's going to be over like that. And so I wish they would have just given us the first episode. And the part that scares me the most, the part that actually worries me, is I feel like a lot of this is Disney interference. A lot of this is down to Disney. I'll bet you the broadcast time prioritizing Americans, Disney. I'll bet you the 2 episodes airing at the same, or one right after the other, 2 episodes dropping on premiere night, Disney. I'll bet you, because they do that with a lot of their shows now, I believe, where Disney Plus drops the first 2 episodes instead of just the first episode. I don't like that, because what that tells me is Disney's got way more control over this show than I like them to have. I'm an American, and I don't like the idea of Americans having that much control over Doctor Who. It is a British show. It should be made by British people for the most part. I don't mind if we eventually got an American showrunner, American director, American writer. I'm fine with that. But I feel like it should primarily be made in British style. Don't get me wrong, I like the TV movie. And again, the TV movie was kind of co-made with American companies. I enjoy the TV movie. Let's admit, though, it is a bit Americanized. If you've seen them again movie, you know it's a bit Americanized. I like it, but it still has its flaws. So I prefer for Doctor Who to remain quintessentially British. Again, don't mind if they eventually get an American showrunner, director, writers, that kind of stuff don't bother me. Even an American actor as the Doctor wouldn't bother me. But I don't like Disney specifically, especially having that much control over Doctor Who, considering what Disney's doing these days with their shows. The MCU, I have zero interest in practically at this point, mainly just because they're not characters I really care about. They have utterly destroyed Star Wars for the most part. They've done a handful of good things. Rogue One isn't bad at all. And I did like Tales of the Jedi, and I do enjoy The Mandalorian well enough. But for the most part, they pretty much just killed Star Wars for me, for the most part, with a few things aside. I don't even go back and watch the original trilogy anymore. That's saying something for someone who literally used to have a YouTube channel discussing lightsaber replicas. So I don't like the idea of Disney having that much influence. Now I know Disney's putting in what I'm assuming is a lot of money for this, and certainly if they're going to put in that kind of money, they're going to want concessions. That's perfectly understandable. But when I see something like the American audience being prioritized over the British audience, when I see these 2 episodes dropping on an 8 episode series, it smacks of Disney. And it starts to tell me just how much control and say Disney has on what's going on with current Doctor Who. And I don't like that. It quite honestly scares the hell out of me. It makes me incredibly nervous. It makes me wonder how much decisions does Disney, how much control does Disney have over script writing, over directing, over casting? Like, is Disney going to be in on casting the next Doctor, the next companion? Stuff like that. It makes me nervous and worry about it when I feel like, again, Bad Wolf and the British people should be working on that. So it does make me nervous about it. I'm not angry about the time like some people are, and I certainly understand why British people would be upset about it. It's your show, and I feel like you're getting shafted. So this isn't me raging about it or anything. My main problem is I get really nervous about Disney having this much potential control over the show, and I don't want that. I would rather the BBC and Bad Wolf be primarily having creative control over the show. So I want to know what you think about the new release date and what you think about Disney having creative control and what you think about 2 episodes premiering instead of one. So comment down below and let me know. Don't forget to click the like button. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and the bell for notifications as well. I want to give a shout out to some of my top tier patrons, Stephen Crane, Colin Coney, and Finn Perkins. I appreciate their support, as I do the support of all of my patrons. I have links to the Patreon down below, links to the Amazon wish list. If there's anything you'd like to send me to look at and review, my P.O. box is down there as well. YouTube memberships are available. And most importantly, thank you for watching.